It doesn't really have to be like the whereby I wrote, you have to be exact same way the life going to be. It's not. Sometimes that death could be happening when you have friends and family members, the trauma you're going through, or illness and everything. So you're gonna be off track with your vision and your life. So yeah, making an adjustment is totally fine.
That's the thing. I think having at the core, again, I call it like the North Star. As long as you've got that big North Star that you're heading towards, if you have to do this a few times or go around, that's totally normal. So yeah, don't get stuck on the fact that your life only has to look like that. Like even once you've discovered, and think, so people's expectations, you know, so if you want children and you're struggling to get pregnant, you know, it's just there's other ways of still becoming a family. And again, it's not this, or you're, you know, taking other routes. And I think it's just whatever stage you're at, you know, these expectations, if you're single, if you're, you know, climbing these ladders or whatever rung you're on, it's okay to go sideways, or, you know, go the long way. I think, and being nice, to being compassionate to yourself and being kind to yourself, and trusting. I think just trust that, you know, if you want something enough, it will happen.
Yeah, like you mentioned, like on a pregnant wise, recently we've been through that same kind of situation with the friends we know. Like they've been probably trying 4 or 5 years to have their first child, and it's not happening, and they're totally fine with it. Their relationship is fine. It's not like they having an issue, but it's about the society. Every time they visit their parents, visit their family members, it's like, when you're having your child, why is not happening, and everything that made them proper depressed, and affected on the relationship is so bad. Their center point was like having a child, but even though they forgot like why they got together in the first place, it wasn't like for a child. It's about the two person got together because of the love they have, or even they got married. But because of the society pressure, it tends to like ruin the whole good relationship you had. And that's like really sad to see. We don't actually see it like. So how do you even stop that kind of situation? Like you can't stop your family members to tell them like or you're going to ruin the relationship as well. And at the same time, it's going to be affecting you because you know there is something is not right for you. It's not happening. So it's going to be affect you on all the time, like with those who can't have a child and seeing other people having a child, probably their friend circle, they're going to be upset and feeling the bad about it as well.
I think it's something that now it's still quite a taboo subject in terms of talking about miscarriages, and sort of my friends now, you know, it's still very much normal to say anything. It's a very sensitive topic, and you know, you don't want to say, and now it's very much like, we don't want to say when you're having a baby. I think people are generally much more mindful about coming out with these, or when's your next child, or when you're going to have a baby, because I think people are more aware. It is much more socially aware now that there are problems with conceiving. But I think those close family members that are closest to you, I think it's, you know, if you are that close to them, it's about being open and trusting them, you know. And I think if they realize, because sometimes we assume people feel a certain way, and if you tell them like, actually, you know, we are trying, so not back off, obviously, you know, but not just like that. But I think just sort of being open and brave to communicate, you know, what's happening with those who are closest to you, is something. And I think you'd be surprised, again, with certain friends, sort of, I assume they think certain ways and I don't speak up. But I think it's, you know, if something is really hurting you and it is affecting you, sort of to communicate them and be open, like, we are trying but we're struggling, and I'm sure that other person who is close to you is, you know, going to be really sorry, you know. And it's just, you can't assume people know everything, you know. I think with a lot of things with communication, we assume people realize things, and they don't. That's all levels of communication, not just with sensitive topics like this.
Yeah, absolutely. I totally agree with that. Because me and my wife, we both got married in 2018. Like after first year of getting married, like everyone start talking, like when having our child and everything. And beginning of when we got married, I spoke to my wife, and look, whatever happens, people are gonna say something, and like before we got married, when you get married and everything. So next thing will be like when you're having our child. So we have to keep in mind, what do you want? are we getting married to have a child or just the sake of this relationship? If it's the sake of this relationship, ignore the all noise. If we're gonna say something and do something, just ignore it. Just let go over your head. No, it's gonna affect you. And I mentally try to be strong with it. Whatever happens, it's gonna happen. We're gonna try and just leave it to God or wherever the
Yeah.
power we believe in. And whatever happens, it happens. And then we have to have like a plan out what do we need for our life. And everything else it comes, family, friends, whoever they ask, just all right, just tell them like we're trying or just make a prayer for us. And that's